Market reaction to Brexit, what do you think?
I mean, absolute uncertainty, and that's what the market hates. And I think we're in a very manipulative situation right now because there's the political aspects on both sides of the ocean, and how corporations deal with those circumstances are going to influence what happens going forward in the UK and also here in our election. And what I'm talking about is if all of a sudden we see JP Morgan and all these different big financial companies say, you know what, we're just moving everybody to Berlin. Now there's a tangible impact on jobs, and that's going to influence the conversation. And it's the same in the United States. Once, if we see that, we're talking about all this nationalism, Trump versus, Senator Clinton or Secretary of State Clinton, if all these businesses are reacting to this take back our country movement by leaving, that sets the tone for the election as well. Look, if it happened that all these companies said, we're out, why would it be any different here? But on the flip side, if the United States is open and we adhere to our treaties, then all of a sudden, tech companies in particular in the UK who want to be able to work with the European Union and have the treaties already in place, they might come here. And if you see a big movement of tech companies here because, there's no better tech foundation and employee base and customer base than the United States for tech, we might see a wholesale inflow of those companies, which on one end says to the UK Brexit was a big mistake, and it also sends the message to our economy and to US voters that protectionism and cutting off those treaties would be a huge mistake.
You mentioned immigration. I mean, that's certainly a big part of it in the UK, and that's a big part of the nationalistic discussion that's happening, really led by Donald Trump.
Yeah, I mean, look, immigration takes a lot of different forms. There's high-end, for visas for employees that you can't get. There's, people being concerned about their lives, concerned about their jobs. I'm not a fan of Donald Trump's approach. I'm a tech guy. I mean, I've invested in companies that allow for or create the ability to test and evaluate people before they come. A company called Converis, and that we've worked with Israel and Southern American companies that say, okay, before you come into this country, we're going to put you through this test, and we're going to ask you these series of questions, and we can tell with a high degree of accuracy, 85%, and it'll learn to be better, whether or not you're going to have a negative impact, whether or not you're a terrorist, whether or not you're a radical Islamic terrorist, however you want to define people. So there's technology, I think, that are first steps that everybody's ignoring. And so I would just take a completely different approach.
Are you concerned about the tone, though, the nationalistic tone, whether it's in the UK or here?
Oh, absolutely. It's scary, right? I mean, look, in my mind, hate never accomplishes anything. No one's ever won with hate. And I think that's the fundamental problem. And hate doesn't solve problems. Hate doesn't improve the economy. Hate doesn't make people, doesn't protect our people anymore, doesn't protect the borders anymore. And so we've got to be very careful about the verbiage we use because there's no win there.